Don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe for more tokusatsu content, and I thank you for your continued support. Alright, so boom, there I was, chilling on the cloud, because that's what I do, After I done saving the world, to de-stress, I like to jump in the sky, and just chill on top of clouds, because it's cool. I'm cool like that. But anyway, I was thinking about the last Kamen Gavv movie that we watched, the Invasion movie, right? And so I said, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch the next one, the Hanto movie, and I did, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Let's talk about it. Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Kamen Rider Spike 2.0 back again once again today, people. Today we're here for Kamen Rider Gavv Guilty Parfait movie review. Now this is the Hanto movie. This is the movie where Hanto has to make the decision to get that surgery and get that granite gland up out of him, because it's technically killing him. And I wonder why it's taking this long to do it, because he technically had it in his whole body a whole year. So yeah, but yeah, this is basically Hanto's movie. Everybody's involved though. Everybody's involved. This is an after the series type of movie as well. Lizelle, she's in this movie. We get the climactic return of the best tertiary writer, in my opinion, the best tertiary writer ever, my boy Lakia. The flan, Kamen Rider Glam makes his return in this movie. We got 3 villains. Technically, we got 1 big bad, yeah, but we technically got 3 big bads in this movie. 2 granutes and 1 human. Got a human that's been eating granutes. We got another granute that's trying to bring back the whole dark treats thing, and we got our main big bad granute, who is basically wanting revenge against the president. Again, he basically wants revenge against Boca, because Boca is killed his father and experimented on his father. And they linked this back to the series when the first time when we saw Boca bringing in a dead granute for Shoma's brother to basically experiment on. Yeah, that was his father essentially. And this granute's name is Izak, or Izik, or Lizik. I think it was Lizik. But yeah, and Lizik is a very kind of unique kind of granute. He's very powerful. He has a Viking kind of look, and he has a crown. He has the Viking beard and stuff like that. He also has a big club that's also shaped like a claw, that's also has has lightning powers, which is very powerful. So I'm like, where was this guy during the freaking series? I mean, he would have been a threat, but he was kind of cool. I feel like he was more of a villain than freaking Karas was in the previous movie, because this guy actually had a goal. He was holding a grudge. He had a goal. There was a dead family member involved, so he technically he wanted revenge again. He didn't care about nothing else. He just wanted revenge against Lizelle and Boca, and well, not really Lizelle, but he wanted revenge against Boca. So he is pissed off when he finds out that Boca is dead, right? And there was no way to get to the human world, because in the end of the series, our boy Lakia ended up destroying all the doors that connect to all these different worlds, right? So he was out of luck, but because of his lightning powers, he was actually able to turn on one of the doors, actually reignited one of the doors, and is able to get to the human world. Now, our other Granute, who is a bat Granute, he basically is trying to bring back the dark treats thing. Seems like he was working for Stomach and stuff like that, and he was getting dark treats, and and now that the Stomach family is gone, there is no dark treats anymore. So he's trying to find a way to start redoing that, and he's basically working with a human that is able to get him dark, is actually able to lure in humans so he can take those humans and turn them into dark treats, and he brings that human Granutes, and that human eats Granutes. Weird, right? Really weird. Like, why is there a human eating Granutes? But yeah, and also in this movie, Hunto is dealing with his Granute gland that's technically killing him. His body's technically starting to reject it, so it's slowly killing him. And we end up reuniting with Lizelle, who Lizelle's basically found herself like a group of friends, and they talk about how lonely she is in this movie, how like her father's dead and she has no way to get back to her world, so she's just kind of like out there, you know. And Jeeb is dead as well, but you know, the boy Hunto, he's trying to help her throughout the movie. He feels bad for like killing her dad, even though or helping kill her dad, because it kind of needed to be done, you know. Like, your dad was like really trying to destroy our world and turn it into like a farm, you know, so we can start eating, so they can start like harvesting humans. Like, Boca needed to die. Boca had to go. I'm sorry, there was no talking to that man. Boca needed to go. But throughout the movie, we see that like Hunto is like dealing with the whole thing of, should I get this taken out of me, because if I don't, it's going to kill me and stuff. And we end up meeting like a new cast of characters. We get these two doctors who are basically running like an illegal sort of kind of clinic, and one of them, they're both like real doctors. Like, they're both like real doctors, but they basically have like an underground type of like clinic thing going on, and they're basically just doing that. So he ends up talking with this main doctor, who's telling him that he's worked on Granutes and stuff like that before, and he actually had a Granute gland in his, you know, room, in his operating room, and he said the gland came from a Granute that he was trying to save, but he couldn't save him because, you know, the human type doctor stuff wouldn't really work on a Granute, so that Granute ended up dying, and he still has the gland of that Granute, which is weird. But you know, Baku, but no other writers in this movie, no Zets in this movie. But Hunto ends up telling him that, well, basically tells him everything. Like, he tells him he's a writer and all that jazz. But they do it off screen, because they feel like, you know, him explaining all of that's gonna be kind of weird. But yeah, this movie was actually, I felt like it was better than the last one. I felt like it was better than, you know, Invasion of the Candy, but I forgot the name of it. But I just watched it. But the past movie that we watched before, it was a little bit better. There was a little bit more story in this. Like, there weren't no alternate worlds or anything like that. It was just like, we're here in the main world and we're dealing with stuff. I like how also they brought in Sachika to kind of come in and kind of soothe Lizelle, and we get to see Lizelle fight more in this movie as well. She actually kind of unlocks like a new ability where she's able to make like these big giant like claw weapons. I mean, it doesn't help her in the end, but still, like, she's able to fight Lizik to a degree. But when Lizik finds out that you know, Boca is dead, he's like, okay, well, I've come all this way for nothing. He's like, you know what, fine, I'm gonna kill your daughter. So he's like, I'm gonna kill Lizelle. And with the bat Granute, he basically asks Lizik to help him, say like, hey, you help me get the dark treat thing started, and I can help you get Lizelle, and I can also help my human buddy over here. He's gonna eat her, and then when he eats her, then you'll get your revenge because she's dead. And he's like, alright. And then like Lizik's like, I bet. So that bat grenade, there's a scene where he eats like a tomato, right? I'm talking about a big tomato, and the camera, I thought it was an apple at first, you know, but then he bites into it, and the scene where he bites into this tomato is just disgusting. It was freaking disgusting. Why did y'all do this? It was disgusting. But yeah, we also see that, you know, Lizelle actually has like a group of friends now, just girls, just a bunch of girls. And now that, you know, she basically says like, hey, you guys made my nights a little less lonely. But yeah, but since Lizik was able to come to the human world and charge up that door, we actually see Sachika helping Lizelle find, you know, trying to help her out, you know, it's real girl power type thing, girl bonding type stuff. And she's helping her try and find a door somewhere that will lead back to the Granute world, because they figured that, hey, since Lizik got here through a door, then that means there's a door out there that should be able to go back to the Granute world. So they do end up finding that door, and by them finding that door, Lizik ends up kidnapping Lizelle. But then they see that, but then, you know, Sachika goes through that door. When she goes through that door, she actually goes to the Granute world and ends up finding Lakia and gives Lakia back his Goshizos. And that's how our boy Lakia was able to come back to the regular human world, right? So that door, so now there's only one door in the whole city, maybe, but there's only one door right now that we know of that can go back to the Granute world. And yeah, our boys end up fighting all three of these characters. It turns out the human that was leading the human that was leading humans to get turned into dark treats was actually the guy nurse. Well, it was him. He was the nurse's assistant. He was the assistant to the doctor that was operating on Hanto, and he was basically telling Hanto that if you keep that gland in you, you could die in any moment. So they talk about getting the surgery for Hanto. Should he go ahead and get the gland out? So, but then if he gets the gland out, then he can't henshin anymore. And Hanto is like, I want to keep it, or maybe still keep fighting, because I want the power to fight, but also I want to keep it just in case something happens. I mean, yeah, Shoma's here, he's powerful, yeah, but he didn't know that Lakia came back at this point. But he's like, Shoma can't handle like basically everything by himself. So it's like, Shoma needs me. I need to be able to fight. So I'm gonna keep it for now. But he does. But you know, that's when Shoma comes in and actually talks to Hanto and actually tells him like, hey, you need to take your well-being you need to think about your well-being too. But overall, Hanto chooses to keep it, even though, you know, our main doctor guy, I like this guy too. He was a cool guy. Basically tells him that, hey, if you keep it in you, you're gonna die. So yeah, and just when he's getting ready to operate on Hanto stops the operation and says that, hey, I can't help. I can't do it right now. I gotta go help my friends. I ain't dying today. And that's when we catch up with Shoma, who basically tried to save all the girls, basically Lizelle's friend group. They also end up getting captured and turned into spice. Well, they're not, you know, the red things that they used to get turned into. They get turned into that, and Shoma's getting ready to save them, but it's hard for him, even though he's in Master Taste and also using over energy. He's fighting Lizik and the Bat Granute all at the same time, and he says it's gonna be really annoying. But then that's when big boy Lakia comes in to help him out, and he basically tells that Granute, he said, hey Lizik, I reunited with some old friends, allow me to thank you. Henshins up and starts helping Shoma fight them off. And then that's when Hanto gets there. When Hanto gets there, he ends up transforming into his new form, which is the chocolate frappe, and it's a brand new form. I think that's the name, but yeah, it's a brand, but basically a choco frappe, where it looks okay. It's armored. It's got a cape. Didn't really show off anything super powerful. Well, Hanto's a brawler. You know, he used to be a delinquent. He's like a brawler. He's a brawler type of fighter. It fits him so well, right? And you know, he's fighting Lizik. And Shoma is fighting our Bat Grenade. Shoma ends up defeating the Bat Grenade after, you know, he does his whole thing about like, hey, you know, stop what you're doing. You know, I'm gonna give you the chance to change your life right now, but if not, I'm gonna kill you. So he's like, nah, dark treats is what I live for. That's what I like to do. And you know, Shoma's like, I bet. So yeah, Shoma ends up taking him out, and then we get a really cool fight between Hanto and Lizik. And Lizik is like, he's like, hey, this whole world's gonna get destroyed. She's gotta die. And you know, Hanto was like, hey man, ain't none of that happening. Listen, I know I caused a lot of I caused her to feel really bad, okay? And I know she's never gonna forgive me, but I could at least save her freaking life, and that's what I'm gonna freaking do. And yeah, he ends up defeating Lizik with a great rider headbutt, and I was messing with it. Comrade Inigo would be proud. But yeah, that's basically the end of the movie, where they ended up defeating Lizik, and they decided to keep that door open so, you know, they can go through, so like Lakia could come back and go, he could leave and go as he pleases. Also, any other Grenoots that are living on Earth that feel like, hey, I want to go home for a while, they can go through that door. Lizelle chooses to go back home. She tells her friends goodbye. She ends up going back home, but she does tell them that, hey, I'll never be able to forgive you guys, but you all saved my life and you have my gratitude for that. I'm like, hey, I guess that's it. So after that, they ended up going back to the doctor, and the doctor says that, hey, if you don't need this, you don't necessarily need the surgery, but if you properly take your medications and stuff like that, that should be enough to keep you stable. And he gives Hanzo a big old freaking bag of like medicine that he's gonna have to take for like a week, right? And after that, the movie, you know, we have the classic secondary writer walk off with Shoma. And you know, he tells him that, hey, I feel like I still need it, because in case something happens, you know, talking about like, hey, there's gonna be more bad Grenoots down the line, and I want to be ready. I want to be able to fight with you guys and stuff like that. But yeah, and that's the end. This movie was great. It was simple, but I feel like, in my opinion, it was better than the last movie, because there was sort of more of a story here, and we had a lot of character interactions. We got some new characters. We got some clarity. We got, you know, for characters as well, like Lakia came back and stuff like that. We have a reason of why he can come in and out and stuff like that. They decided to keep the door, so the human world and the Grenoot world is like linked together again. And Lizelle technically somewhat got a happy ending, like she got to go home, you know, so maybe, you know, she can go back and see her mom and stuff like that, you know, because we never see Lizelle's mom. Why is that? We never saw her mom. But yeah, this movie was cool. I'm glad I watched it. I wasn't bored in any way. I'm just super easy to please, and I'm simple-minded as hell. So a lot of writer stuff, a lot of stuff I really can't find any like massive flaws in as either, you know. And that's the thing about me, is just like I can find some pros and cons when it comes down to this stuff, but at the same time, it's like I just sat and enjoyed the movie, and I just want to let you guys know how I felt about it. But other than that, I like it. I'm gonna watch some more movies and toku movies and stuff like that I probably missed out on, and maybe I'll check out that Boom Boomjer and King-Ohger movie. Because that happened, right? I think I'm going to go ahead and check that out. But other than that, I'm gonna see you guys next time. What you guys think about this movie? Have you seen this? I know I'm late. I know some of this stuff is kind of old. I'm yapping, but you guys, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about this movie. Kamen Rider Gavv, Guilty Parfait. What you guys think about Hunto's new form? Do you think we're ever gonna see it again? Stuff like that. Maybe we'll get it one day in a Reiwa Generations Forever movie. You guys know that's gonna happen. There's gonna be a Reiwa movie where all the Reiwa riders are in it. It's going to happen. I own the 4th Hokage. I know it's gonna happen. But other than that, I'm seeing you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. As remember, as I always say, stay henshined.
Yeah, the shining golden sign.